Steve Kerr finally responds as he has had some backlash for not playing Jayson Tatum in their first game in Team Olympic play versus Serbia. We're going to be diving in, looking at what Steve Kerr had to say in response for not playing Jayson Tatum, and also his reasonings in what some of the lineups could look like to give us a better explanation of what we're going to expect for this Team USA squad. Welcome back to Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Veliz. If you guys do enjoy the content, make sure you want to stay up to date on daily Boston Celtics news and updates. Hit that subscribe button. But without further ado, let's dive into the topic at hand. Make sure to grab a snack. And like I mentioned in the introduction, Steve Kerr responds to Jayson Tatum not playing in this contest yesterday due to the fact that he was a DNP due to the fact of a coach's decision. Now, Jayson Tatum was not the only player that did not play. Tyrese Halliburton did not play as well. But we have a little bit of reasoning and a little bit of an explanation from Steve Kerr on why Jayson Tatum did not play. If we want to look at this tweet from Adam Himmelsbach, who works for the Boston Globe, we can see that Steve Kerr says that Jayson Tatum sat mostly because he wanted to get KD into the mix, but said that there will be opportunities for Jayson Tatum to play, as he said that he will definitely make his mark for Team USA. Now, this is, does make a little bit of sense, but also is a little bit confusing. Now, like I mentioned, he obviously wants to run Kevin Durant. He feels that Kevin Durant is a great scorer, and Kevin Durant is one of that. He was lights out in yesterday's game, and I understand, not wanting to just disrupt that rhythm and kind of mess up with that. But Kevin Durant coming off the bench and still being that great really ultimately allows you to be like, okay, Jayson Tatum can get a couple minutes at least. That's the point where I kind of get a little bit upset. But ultimately, when looking at this team and when looking at Team USA, they played a solid game. They won by 26. You can filter guys like Jayson Tatum and Tyrese Halliburton into these lineups and kind of get them ingratiated. Now, with Kevin Durant, not playing in the beginning part of exhibition, dealing with some injuries, it makes sense. And Jayson Tatum, got to play through those exhibition minutes, kind of got KD's amount of workload, and didn't look the greatest for Team USA in those exhibition matches. He wasn't a standout player, wasn't a top player, wasn't one of the top echelon guys for that Team USA in those exhibition games. So it makes sense that Steve Kerr, kind of looking back at it, takes a little bit of a step back, but not at the point where you bench him. Don't even play him at all. Give him 0 minutes. That's a little bit of a slap of disrespect in my eyes. When you hear Jayson Tatum, you hear NBA champion. You hear a guy that has worked his butt off, and you think of one of the league's best two-way players in the NBA. This guy can play on offense, can play on defense, can play make, can grab rebounds. He does all the intangibles that you want to see out of a superstar player. Looking at Jayson Tatum's stats from the season this year, we can see he averaged 27 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists on a steal, and almost averaging 1 block per game, a little over half a block per game on 47% shooting from the field, 38% shooting from three, and 37% shooting from the corner three at only 26 years old. Yes, people like to joke that he is 19, but this man is 26. He's still getting better, still growing, and we already saw that with Team USA. Have you seen his muscles? Have you seen the amount of weight that he's put on in those pictures? This man is just getting better and better on both sides of the floor, and it is an absolute disgrace and a like I can see the reasons why Celtics fans are frustrated. I can see why people in the media are frustrated, and that's what we're going to kind of get to in a little bit later. Ultimately, as well, when you look at the starting lineup that Steve Kerr kind of ran with this team, I understand Steve Kerr likes small ball lineups. I understand that Steve Kerr has dealt with a majority of guards and having guys like Draymond Green being the playmakers and the facilitators for those Warrior-esque teams. When you look at a lineup like this, and you tell me that Devin Booker is starting over Jayson Tatum, an NBA champion, a player that can truly play the small forward, and you're running a 3 guard lineup with Devin Booker as the 3, that confuses me. And that is coming from somebody who is a Devin Booker fan, somebody who likes the Phoenix Suns on the Western Conference. And you're going to tell me that Jayson Tatum is going to be starting over Devin Booker? That doesn't make any sense to me. Jayson Tatum should be starting over Devin Booker 100%. Devin Booker should not be getting that start. And even if Kevin Durant, look, he is balling out, he is performing. Kevin Durant should be getting into that starting lineup, possibly even as well. And Jayson Tatum should be taking some of those minutes. Not necessarily taking all of Devin Booker's minutes, not necessarily taking all of Kevin Durant's minutes, but should be taking some of their minutes. Now, Steve Kerr also had some more to say about Jayson Tatum in this response here. We want to look at this tweet here. He can say that he handled it really well, talking about Jayson Tatum, saying that he talked to him today before the game, that it may play out this way, that Jayson Tatum may not get any minutes with the fact that Kevin Durant was coming back. but Jayson is going to play. I felt like an idiot not playing him, said Steve Kerr. And yeah, I would feel like an idiot too if I didn't play a player that is on the best team in the NBA last year, arguably the best player, if not second best player on that team last year. Player that is still continuing to grow, player that is at the wing position, who can guard fours and fives at the Olympic level, but can also come off screens and guards one and twos. I do not understand what was going through Steve Kerr's head when he decided to give him 0 minutes. They won by 26. It's not like I'm asking you to give Jayson Tatum 40 minutes a night, not asking him to be the number one option, but give him at least a little bit of shine light. And clearly, Steve Kerr realized that he messed up because he heard it not just from Boston Celtics fans, but from fans everywhere as well. So like I said, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you guys feel. I know that it's one game. I was overreacting a little bit yesterday. I was a little bit frustrated. It was kind of a heat in the moment. Calm down a little bit today. I understand. But still, it is a sign of disrespect for Steve Kerr to not be giving an NBA champion, Jayson Tatum, arguably the best, not arguably, the best player from the Boston Celtics on this Olympic team. And he gets 0 minutes. Yes, I know Jrue Holiday and Derrick White provide defensive roles, and that's what they're brought on for this Team USA team. So they needed to definitely play Jayson Tatum as more of an offensive focal point, but he can still contribute on both sides of the ball. And we've seen that in the NBA, and would see it definitely in Olympic play as well. Next, let's get into the next part here, where others react as well. Not just Boston Celtics fans, not just people, Steve Kerr reacting, but people across the NBA media sphere as well. We want to look at this tweet from Tim Legler here talking about it. He said that it was absolutely disgraceful, disgusting that he disagrees with what happened. I thought that it was disrespectful that Jayson Tatum didn't get a single minute in this game, which I agree. Tim Legler has been a guy that has been not signed with the Boston Celtics, but as you know, talked about how dynamic their two wing players are, and Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum are, and how they have taken that leap a bit, how they have stepped up to the plate. And when people were knocking on them and saying that they weren't, elite two-way wings, he was a guy that was propping them up. So I'm glad that he's still sticking by his guns and sticking with this when talking alongside other players. And also, looking at Kendrick Perkins, the guy that was hating on the Boston Celtics last season, Kendrick Perkins, the guy that was saying that guys like Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum aren't that 1A, 1B type guy, saying that they need to break up, is now saying that, you know what, Jayson Tatum is going to obviously be furious and be mad, and he understands why, and he should be mad. Come on, congrats, Perk. Thank you for actually realizing. Thank you, Perk. I know that we've called out Perk a little bit on switching his ways, but here he is defending Jayson Tatum on the Olympic stage, and that's something that I love to see. Thank you, Perk, for saying those nice, kind words. Even though sometimes we haven't really jived that much, I understand that you are very, very happy that Tatum is actually going to be able to get those. And like we said with Brian Windhorst in that conversation with Kendrick Perkins, he kind of said, in the next game where Tatum plays, somebody is going to have to get let out. That's just the nature of this team. Ultimately, this team is just too stacked with having 12 guys that are going to play. I mean, when you look at this roster here, obviously looking at a starting five of Joel Embiid, LeBron James, Devin Booker, Jrue Holiday, Steph Curry. Then you look at the bench of Kevin Durant, Bam Adebayo, Anthony Davis, Anthony Edwards, Derrick White, Jayson Tatum, Tyrese Halliburton. All these guys are terrific. But when you're up 26 points on a team versus Serbia in a game that you know you're going to win, I'm telling you, there is a way to throw Tatum in there and throw Halliburton in there and have some fun and let those guys enjoy getting some Olympic run. Regardless if it's 5 minutes, regardless if it's 8 minutes, you can do something along those lines to get those guys sporadically in there. Or just take away some minutes from some of the starters, give them less minutes, and just ultimately give some of the other bench guys some more minutes. I'm not asking to strip a guy completely of 10 to 15 minutes and give it to Jayson Tatum. I'm asking to take 2 to 3 minutes from each pocket and then give that to Jayson Tatum. That's what I'm asking. And then lastly, kind of getting to the last part, is where can Jayson Tatum seemingly kind of fit in? I think that he could, and I've not preached here, into that starting lineup possibly. We'll have to see what the lineup they run versus South Sudan in their next game. We could still see them run this three-guard lineup with Devin Booker. It did seemingly see to work with Jayson Tatum being out. So honestly, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But you could see Kevin Durant maybe get integrated into that starting lineup alongside LeBron James, having Devin Booker maybe slot into that bench role. And then who knows, maybe Devin Booker and Jayson Tatum can share some minutes from that offensive role off the bench, kind of splitting those minutes and at that 2-3 position as Tatum could kind of fill in for Durant, or who knows if doesn't have the greatest offensive showing in that is getting some minutes here, maybe a guy like Jayson Tatum would get that opportunity. But again, let me know what you guys think down below. Steve Kerr kind of responds, and other people in the media react, and Celtics fans I know were furious yesterday in response. So if you guys want to make sure you stay updated on everything revolving around this Boston Celtics team, make sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and drop down a comment how you guys are feeling down below. You guys absolutely killed it in the comments yesterday. We had over like 200 comments, I believe, or something along those lines last night, and it was over the like button. You guys were absolutely feeling yourself regardless if you agreed with the situation, disagreed, and that's what I want to hear. I want to know your thoughts. I want to hear what you guys have to say about this situation because it makes it more interesting, makes it more fun, makes it more entertaining for us Celtics fans to be able to have these discussions and to build this community. So I appreciate everyone that has been supporting and leaving down their thoughts. Like I said, if you want to make sure you stay up to date on everything revolving around the Celtics team as well, check the links down below in the description. There's a Discord link where you can join and interact with Celtics fans in chats and alongside myself and have more personal conversations and talk about the NBA. And you can also follow us on Twitter at Celtics Digest YT to get updates and more all around the NBA's time of stuff in my perception and my aspect. Once again, I'm Bruce Veliz. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of Celtics Digest. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day and go Boston Celtics.